My friend, even in college, still held me to her high school standards. When it was time to register for the CETA exam, she told me I shouldn't be on my phone during class, snatched it away from me, causing me to miss the registration. But she secretly had someone register for her in advance. When I wanted to participate in a competition, she advised me that college was just about attending classes properly. She canceled my registration but entered herself and won an award. After graduation, I couldn't find a job, while she landed a position at the company I'd always dreamed of. Desperate, I asked her for money, but she righteously lectured me. "I've helped you for so many years and you're still leeching off me?" I died in an accident at a small factory. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the first day of college. I pushed open the dorm room door, and a familiar voice greeted me. "Lily, what a coincidence that we're in the same school and the same dorm." My high school classmate Lily-chan enthusiastically pulled me inside, introducing me to the others. "This is Summer Lee, we're best friends." She acted as if we were very close. Snapping out of my daze, I withdrew my arm and greeted the others with a smile. Lily's expression immediately soured, but I didn't even glance at her. In my previous life on the first day, she had proclaimed that we were best friends and did everything together. Over time, others stopped asking me to hang out and I had no friends. This time, after arranging my own things, I helped the others unpack, and we quickly became close. My new roommates even generously shared some snacks with me. Seeing this, Lily, who had been ignored all morning, suddenly stood up and returned all the snacks others had given me. "Summer, you can't eat snacks in school. Have you forgotten what happened to the class monitor in high school?" In high school, our class monitor had a hypoglycemic episode and ate a piece of candy. Lily saw it and immediately reported her to the homeroom teacher, getting her a disciplinary point, claiming she was doing it to maintain class order. She asserted, "As the class monitor, it's my responsibility to supervise classmates and prevent them from making mistakes. If I let her off this time, other classmates will follow suit, and what kind of discipline will our class have?" So, she watched the class monitor every day, causing her to faint from hypoglycemia and be taken to the hospital by ambulance. Lily then used this as an excuse to make all classmates participate in morning exercises, arguing they needed to be healthy or they would be as weak as the class monitor. Now she was saying the same thing. "The food at the school is enough for us. If we get caught eating snacks, we'll get a warning." She glanced at the other roommates. "I can't control what others do, but we're starting college, we need to be careful and not make any mistakes." She reached for the last box of snacks in my hand. "We're good friends, of course, I need to think more for you. Listen to me, you can't go wrong. I'll return these snacks for you." The girl who had offered me the snacks looked a little unhappy, but didn't say anything given my supposed relationship with Lily. I snatched the box back from Lily, unable to help but roll my eyes at her, and said with disgust, "If you don't want to eat them, just mind your own business." I thanked the roommate who had shared and took out the snacks I'd brought, handing some to everyone except Lily. In the past, I had shared everything with her. Seeing that I had completely skipped her, Lily's face turned awkward, and she was just about to speak. I smiled at the others. "Lily doesn't like snacks, everyone please take note, don't offer her any in the future." The others had also witnessed Lily's bizarre behavior, and they quickly nodded, assuring me they wouldn't share anything with her. On the first day, everyone already disliked her. Lily bit her lip, embarrassed and annoyed, and silently started arranging her own things. After classes officially started, Lily tried to sit next to me. I pulled the other roommates early to sit together, leaving her to reluctantly sit behind me. However, on the day of the CD4 registration, I arrived in the classroom to find that the seat next to mine was taken. Lily enthusiastically waved at me. "Summer, come quickly." I frowned, remembering that my roommate, Iris Lee, had taken the day off. For the entire class, Lily's eyes kept glancing at my phone on the table. As the registration deadline approached, her nervousness became palpable, her gaze towards me more frequent. However, I remained unmoved, not responding to her glances. Seeing that I didn't touch my phone, she asked, "Aren't you registering for the C4 exam?" Lily replied earnestly, "The class hasn't ended yet, we can register after class. We should turn off our phones during class. Summer, we're here to study and gain knowledge, We absolutely can't let anything else distract us. Though she said this, her eyes showed a determined look as she stared at her own phone. In my past life, she had told me that I could register after class and shouldn't be on my phone during class, or I would get demerits. I, being a freshman, was confused by her words, and she directly grabbed my phone, turned it off and put it next to hers. However, when class ended, other classmates had already registered, and the CD4 spots were full. Afterward, I realized that I was the only one in the class who hadn't registered. Seeing Lily's name on the list, I angrily confronted her. Didn't you say that we couldn't be on our phones during class? How did you manage to register? Lily looked at me with surprise and lectured me as if it were obvious. Summer, of course we can't be on our phones during class. I didn't lie to you. But CD4 registration is also very important. I asked someone to register for me in advance. It's your fault you didn't ask someone. I helped you and now you're blaming me. I was so angry that my blood was boiling. I ignored her for several days. Finally, she came to me with a helpless look saying, "Okay, next time, I'll tell you about these things in advance. After all, we're best friends." Now I couldn't help but sneer as I watched her sit upright and listen attentively. I wondered if she would be so calm when she found out she was the only one in the class who hadn't registered. With a minute left before class ended, I reached for my phone to check a message. My fingertip barely touched the phone case when Lily's deafening voice suddenly rang in my ear. "Teacher, I'm reporting Summer Lee. She's on her phone during class." Her voice was loud, immediately drawing everyone's attention. She turned to me with disapproval all over her face. "Summer, I already told you that you can't be on your phone during class. Why do you have to do it? Can't you even endure it for a minute? I didn't want to report you, but after thinking about it, you're so disrespectful to the teacher, and our class atmosphere can't be influenced by you. For the sake of the class, I can only do this. Even if you're my best friend, I can't condone your behavior, or I'd be betraying my conscience." As she spoke, she looked at the English teacher and righteously declared, "Teacher, Summer Lee was on her phone during class. Please deduct points from her grade." I was stunned by her words, not knowing what she was thinking when she said them. The class's whispered conversations stopped, and I could see everyone typing furiously on their phones, discussing this bizarre event. The English teacher looked at us awkwardly, trying to mediate. "It's almost time to end the class, it's not as strict. Lily, just remind her is enough." Lily shook her head firmly, heartbroken. "Teacher, I resolutely refuse to let my best friend make such a mistake. Deducting points can remind her not to do it again in the future. If you don't punish her, I can only ask the principal whether our school's discipline is like this." The English teacher's face turned pale. She didn't want to end up in trouble with the principal. I suddenly spoke coldly. "Lily, you say I was on my phone, but you didn't leave your phone alone during the whole class." Lily stated righteously, "I just accidentally touched my phone case, and I've already turned it off." I scoffed. "Accidentally? It looked like you were about to rub a hole through your phone case." I also reported to the teacher, "Since we're deducting points, let's deduct them together. Lily also needs a reminder to prevent future mistakes." I added meaningfully, "As her friend, I can't just stand by and watch her go astray." The other classmates started to murmur and sneer. What's her problem? Trying to control everyone's phone usage. It's almost the end of the class. The teacher didn't even want to interfere. Doesn't she have any tact? Trying to act like she's the only one who pays attention to class. Everyone else is stupid. Lily's face flushed red with shame after the comments. Hearing that she would also get points deducted made her panic. Just as she was about to defend herself, the bell rang, and she let out a sigh of relief. "All right, let's end the class for now." The English teacher, afraid she would get entangled in the point deduction, quickly left. I ignored Lily and left the classroom with the crowd. Lily blocked me at the stairwell, saying worriedly, "Summer, are you mad at me? I was just afraid you'd do something wrong. Your mom told me to take care of you. When we first met in high school, my mom had made a polite remark about us helping and supervising each other, and she had always used that to control me ever since. I couldn't be bothered to deal with her. You should worry about your registration first." She suddenly smiled, slowly opening her phone. "Summer, I already told you that the C4 can be registered for at any time. She froze when she looked at her phone. Her eyes widened in disbelief. I saw a new message at 11:30 on the WeChat chat interface. Sorry, classmate. Please find someone else to register for you. Lily took a moment to react, then frantically opened the browser to find the registration page. Oh no. I picked up my phone and said with a surprised tone, the registration slots for C4 are full. What? Lily couldn't help but shout. She frantically tried countless times but failed each time. Finally, she understood that she had missed the registration. She wore an ugly smile and said with difficulty, It's okay, Summer. You didn't register either. You have me, so we can take it next time together. Lily was always competitive. By the time she took the C4 next time, others would already be preparing for the C6. She clenched her phone, forcing herself to calm her anger. I almost burst out laughing. Lily had assumed that if she hadn't registered, neither had I. I casually said, But I've already registered. Then I shook my phone at her, showing the words registration successful. You registered? Lily's eyes fell on me with jealousy and resentment. She questioned, All the spots are full. How did you register? Looking at her angry face, I smiled. Of course, I asked someone to register for me in advance. I just got a message saying it was successful. The person I had asked was the same one Lily had contacted at the beginning. I just paid more money and she agreed to help me. Lily, who insisted on not checking her phone, had missed the message. With a thud, Lily's backpack fell to the ground. She shouted in a rage, Summer, I've been nothing but good to you and you hid things from me? Why didn't you tell me you had asked someone to register in advance? I acted surprised. C4 registration is so important. Of course I have to prepare in advance. I quickly pointed fingers at her. It's your problem that you didn't ask someone to register for you. Why are you blaming me? Am I supposed to be responsible for your affairs? Lily went crazy shouting. Then why are you being so selfish? Only thinking for yourself and not for me? Now, I'm the only one in the class who hasn't registered. I pointed at her phone screen, shrugging. Didn't you ask someone too? The words on the screen pierced Lily's eyes again, and she angrily blocked the person, saying, That person's a liar. I raised an eyebrow. Lily, I don't remember you mentioning that you were asking someone to register for you. Before calling others selfish, think about what you did first. Lily laughed awkwardly, defending, I just tried randomly and now you've registered too. I was too lazy to argue with her and turned to leave. However, from that day forward, Lily followed me closely, controlling my daily schedule. Whenever I went to the library to study for exams, she also left the dorm with her books. She acted like she wanted to learn from me. Summer, we're friends, of course I need to accompany you while you study for the exams. You've always been excellent at your studies. This is the perfect chance to feel the study atmosphere. In my past life, I understood that Lily's actions weren't for my benefit, but rather to eliminate me as her competitor. In high school, I had excellent grades. She had asked the teacher to move her seat next to me, and out of a belief of helping classmates, I had taught her how to study. Under my guidance, her grades improved by a lot. She sat next to me, disturbing me with questions and interrupting my focus. I took her textbook and circled some useless articles, emphasizing, These will definitely be on the final exam. Lily immediately lowered her head, memorizing them carefully. Back in the dorm that night, I lay in bed studying vocabulary, and Lily directly turned off the dorm lights. Summer, dorm regulations say the lights need to be off at 11 p.m. You need to go to bed early and wake up early. Quickly put away your book. She did this every night, turning off the lights so that I couldn't study, and then secretly studied with a small lamp under her bed curtains. I took her lamp and turned it on. Lily, you should stick to your schedule and go to sleep early. I'll use your little lamp to study. She vehemently refused. No way. Summer, what if the dorm supervisor finds out? Our dorm will get points deducted, and I, as the dorm leader, will be implicated. The other roommates were also annoyed. Lily, if you don't want to study, others do. What's the problem with turning on a light? Why do you bring this high school habit to university? Who cares if you turn on the lights? Lily's face flushed red from the criticism. I chimed in. The finals are coming up, there's a lot to review, are you all prepared? Everyone is studying quietly, you should go to bed. Lily showed signs of unease at this comment. She scanned the others, all absorbed in their studies, then climbed into bed unwillingly. The dorm was filled with the soft sounds of writing and page turning. I saw Lily occasionally peeking at us from her bed with her curtains slightly open. The C4 exam went smoothly, and in the blink of an eye it was final exams. This time I never missed a class and listened attentively in each one. The grade for attendance and participation would definitely be high. As the finals approached, Lily clearly became uneasy. After I went out for a moment during one class, she created another scene. I had just returned to my seat with my phone when Lily suddenly stood up and loudly proclaimed, "Teacher, Summerlee went to the bathroom during class." I was startled by her, and before I can say anything she continued her speech. "We shouldn't go out casually during class, especially to use the bathroom. We can absolutely wait until after class." She even scolded me. "Summer, your actions are so disrespectful to the teacher. What if you encountered the school principal or other leaders? Wouldn't it affect our class's reputation? We've all studied for so many years, we all know that you can't leave class, and yet Summer deliberately breaks the rules. Her behavior is extremely horrible." Her words created a silence around us. I saw the person in front, who was also holding their stomach and wanting to go to the bathroom, glaring at her. Coincidentally, it was English class again. Lily, like a pure white flower fighting against the forces of darkness, insisted under the English teacher's unhappy gaze. "Teacher, I know Summerlee is good at her studies, but that's not the reason for you to keep defending her. If mistakes aren't punished, what kind of class discipline will we have?" Her righteous appearance made me laugh in anger. It was simply because I had been performing well this semester and had been preparing well for the finals. She was afraid that my grades would surpass hers, and she would lose her scholarship. I held up my phone screen showing a call log with the school counselor. I said slowly, "The reason I went out just now was because the school counselor called me, saying that the classmates in our class didn't want you to be class monitor anymore, and they wanted me to be nominated instead. Stop showing off and flexing your authority as the class monitor. You're interrupting the other students in class." Lily was dumbfounded. "What?" She shakily tried to open her phone, only to realize that she had turned it off at the start of class. Seeing her collapse, I asked with concern, "Classmate, are you having trouble? I'm the class monitor, you can talk to me about it." The English teacher finally couldn't hold back. "Enough." Lily bit her lip and sat down in resentment. I glanced at the class group chat. The classmates had already been cursing her. What's her problem? Why does it bother her if someone goes to the bathroom? So what if I go? Is she going to report me to the principal? Does she own the school? You can't do this or that. Lily wasn't in this group, so she didn't know what others were saying about her. Soon after, someone anonymously posted the incident on the school's confession wall, attracting a torrent of complaints. I caught sight of Lily sitting next to me, gripping her pen tightly. She looked like she was having stomach issues because of her earlier emotions. She had the urge to go to the bathroom. There were still 30 minutes until the end of class, and despite the pain, she gritted her teeth and refused to go, her eyes glued to the clock on the wall. By coincidence, the clock was actually broken a few days ago. The needle was moving incredibly slow. Lily hunched over, clutching her stomach tightly with her left hand. She secretly glanced at the back door of the classroom, and I said softly, "You want to go to the bathroom? The class hasn't ended. Going to the bathroom will deduct your attendance points." She believed my words and stubbornly held on without going. I ignored her and continued to pay attention to the class. She kept squirming in her seat. As time went on, her stomach began to make gurgling noises. She instantly flushed red with embarrassment and buried her face in her arms. I chuckled and some light snickers sounded around us. Lily was as red as a cooked lobster. She bit her teeth and refused to make a sound. With 5 minutes left in the class, her face had already turned pale. It was obvious she was at her limit. She anxiously squirmed around, hoping that time would move faster. The bell rang, and as soon as it did, a strange sound was heard. Lily immediately jumped out of her seat and vanished from the door before the teacher had finished talking. and by chance she was wearing white pants that day. I vaguely saw a yellowish stain on her pants. I realized what had happened and almost laughed myself to death. Lily had pooped her pants. I was sure others saw it too. The news of Lily's bathroom incident would soon spread throughout the entire class. After that day, Lily never bothered me again. Maybe she hated me for making her lose face, or maybe she was embarrassed about her mishap. In the blink of an eye, it was the day to check the CT4 scores. I slept soundly until I woke up naturally, but when I opened my phone, I saw a string of messages from Lily in the class group, and a spreadsheet. I frowned as I looked down at it. At 7:30 in the morning, Lily-chan sent the C4 score sheet of the entire class to the group chat. I've already helped everyone check their C4 scores, and have ranked them in order from highest to lowest. Everyone can look for their own. Over a dozen students in our class didn't pass, but don't be discouraged. Let's work harder and strive to pass the next time. I opened the spreadsheet and scrolled down, but couldn't find my score. Lily had said it was ranked by score, but even after scrolling to the bottom, my name was nowhere to be found. When I got to the very bottom, I paused. 632 points, ranked last. Only then did I see Lily's message. After finishing the spreadsheet, I realized I forgot to check Summer's score, so I just put her at the end. I sneered, not taking her words seriously. Checking CT4 scores required an ID number. At the beginning of the semester, everyone had filled out a personal information form, so Lily had used everyone's ID numbers to get their scores. This act would definitely spark public discontent, and the comments scolding her already filled the screen. Lily-chan, did I need you to check for me? Why are you being so nosy? Thanks to you, I was the only one who knew I failed, but now everyone knows. The criticisms against her were endless, and some even went to message her directly. Lily completely panicked, not expecting that her actions would cause such public outrage. Soon it was shown that Lily had left the group chat and blocked all those who had scolded her. From that moment on, no one was willing to pay attention to her. Even for group projects, they left her alone. During the entrepreneurship competition, other classmates had already formed their teams. I had teamed up with my roommate Iris Lee. When Lily saw that I had also registered for the competition, she wouldn't stop nagging in my ear. Summer, for our 4 years of college, all we need to do is study hard and pass all our courses. Other things will only delay our studies. Participating in competitions won't help us get good grades on our final exams. In fact, they waste our energy and distract us from studying. We should focus on our studies, and I'll help you cancel your registration. Lily pretended to advise me to give up on the competition, but behind my back, she secretly entered herself. It was the same in my previous life. No matter how hard she tried to persuade me, I insisted on participating. Seeing that I didn't budge, she could only sadly say, "Since your mind is made up, I won't try to persuade you anymore." She acted as if I were on the verge of going astray. However, as the class monitor, when she submitted the registration forms, she hid mine, causing me to miss the competition. She said earnestly, "Summer, after thinking about it, we're best friends after all. I can't watch you harm your studies because of some unimportant matters, or I'll feel terribly guilty." With a light and meaningless guilty, she deprived me of my chance to participate in the competition. Yet, she secretly registered herself and won second place in the end. After I found out I was betrayed, I was angry, but she said generously, "My award is also yours, Summer. You just focus on your studies. I'll help us win the awards." I carefully filled out the registration form. Seeing her still trying to persuade me with all sorts of, "for your own good" arguments, I casually said, "Perfect, I'm collecting the registration forms to give to the counselor tomorrow, so I won't add yours." Lily paused, then said, "Wait, after thinking about it, participating in activities in college can enrich our experiences. Why don't I register as well, as a way of accompanying you?" Hearing her words, I found them laughable. What did she mean by accompanying me? I reminded her, "Iris and I are a team. Whether you participate or not is your own business. No one cares." Lily's face showed her dissatisfaction and she scolded me. "Why didn't you ask me to team up? We're the best partners." "Because you weren't going to participate." Lily choked on my words. Seeing that I was getting up to leave, she quickly grabbed me. I want to register too, give me a form. The next day when I went to submit the forms, Lily couldn't come with me because she had something to do. She instructed me several times to make sure I submitted all the forms. She looked cautious, afraid that her form would be missed. Watching Lily walk away with worry, I headed towards the counselor's office. When I reached the administration building, I took her form out, crumpled it up, and casually threw it into the nearby trash can. A cleaning lady happened to come by to collect it. The next day, the counselor posted the list of participants in the group chat. Lily scrolled through the list back and forth multiple times, but her name was nowhere to be found. She grabbed her phone and questioned me. Summer, everyone in the class registered. Why am I not on the list? I clearly gave you the form. Why am I not on it? I pretended to look at the list and exclaimed in surprise. Everyone is on it. Why is your name the only one missing? I acted like I just realized what had happened. Yesterday, the wind blew and scattered the forms. I just picked them up and submitted them. Maybe yours blew away. Lily was angered by my dismissive attitude and snapped. What do you mean blew away? You are the class monitor and can't even handle this simple task. Did you hide my form on purpose so that I wouldn't be able to participate? Summer, how could you be so insidious and cunning? You're the one responsible for this, and you have to fix it. You need to tell the counselor that I registered too. Faced with her angry shouting, I remained unmoved. The registration has closed. And also, now that I think about it, I did pick up your form, but I remembered how much you cared about the final exam grades, so I thought it was better to help you cancel your registration. Lily, I'm doing this all for you. I wore an expression as if my good intentions were betrayed, making me feel somewhat hurt. Lily didn't care about her image anymore and yelled, Who told you to take it upon yourself to cancel my registration? Did I need you to be so kind? If I don't get an award in this competition, how am I going to go to Yuhua? Hearing those two words, my gaze turned cold. That was the company I had always dreamed of working at after graduation, but Lily had taken that opportunity from me. So she knew all along how important this competition was for my future career, but she destroyed my opportunity without hesitation in order to remove me as a competitor. Now that it was happening to her, she couldn't handle it. I used her previous words to reply to her. If you study hard for 4 years, you will definitely be able to go to a good company after graduation. My awards are your awards, you should focus on your studies, and I'll protect our honor. Lily was so angry that she stomped her feet, saying without thinking, You protect my ass. They will want you in the future but not me. She refused to admit defeat and went to find the counselor in a rage. By the time Lily returned from the counselor with a defeat, I was already at the library, studying hard. I had put my phone on silent, and the barrage of phone calls and messages from Lily had no effect on me. After this incident, Lily and I had completely fallen out. Lily saw that I was targeting her and stopped sticking to my side all day. But after that, she always tried to do whatever I did. If I was preparing for an exam, she would also prepare for it. If I was participating in a competition, she would join too. She was determined to keep up with my pace. I had my own learning rhythm. She was blindly following me every day, and soon her energy couldn't keep up. She would nod off in class. After a semester, my grades were excellent in every course, but she had failed several classes. However, she still didn't give up. While she was busy with remedial classes, she kept an eye on me. Wherever I went, she would appear, and she often turned her head to see what I was doing while I was studying. I let her watch, knowing that she was the one who wouldn't be able to handle this. 2 years passed, and Lily's grades had plummeted. She was sleeping in class, falling behind in the coursework, and she didn't have the energy to review. While following me to competitions, she failed almost every exam, and couldn't even pass the remedial ones, resulting in her having to retake classes. While she was still busy with the retakes, I was already preparing my internship resume. I lived an exceptionally full life during those university years. I obtained every certificate I could, participated in countless competitions, won numerous awards, and even made time for several part-time jobs. To prepare for my interview, I had a formal suit custom made, which was delivered to the school. When Lily heard that I was preparing for the Yuhua interview, she immediately became anxious and started preparing as well. However, after 3 years in college, She hadn't accomplished anything. Her exam scores were always just short of passing. She never won in any competition, and because she had failed so many courses, she was now facing the problem of not being able to graduate. She racked her brain and wrote a resume, sending it in to Yuhua, applying for the interview on the same day as me. The day before the interview, I retrieved my custom-made suit and put it away before going outside to practice my interview process. However, when I returned, I found that my suit had been taken out and cut into pieces, scattered all over the floor. Looking at the shredded fabric on the ground, I felt an unknown fire burning in my chest. When my roommates returned, they were also surprised. However, with a grave face, I didn't say a word. They didn't dare to ask any questions. The whole dorm knew that I had an interview tomorrow and had been preparing for it for a long time. I sat quietly on my chair, waiting for the inevitable. Lily came in humming a tune and exclaimed in surprise at the mess on the floor. "Whose clothes are these?" I stared directly at her and she said unhappily, "Why are you looking at me? I just got back, I didn't do it." Her gaze darted away, avoiding my eyes. I sneered and saw her shiver slightly. "Lily-chan, I'm giving you a chance to confess." Lily had a guilty look on her face but insisted, "What do you mean? I already said I didn't do it." There was no confidence in her voice. Seeing her refusing to admit it, I stopped beating around the bush. "I asked the underclassmen in my major, and they said you skipped a class this afternoon. So what?" Lily suddenly smiled triumphantly as if she thought of something, not caring as she said, "Anyway, the dorm's cameras are broken. You don't have any proof to accuse me." I smiled. "You're right. But I've asked the interviewers at Yuhua to cancel your interview." "What? Why?" Lily could no longer remain calm. She yelled angrily, "I earned that opportunity myself. How dare you slander me and make me lose it? I'm going to sue you for defamation." I smiled casually. "I only told the interviewers that your resume is fake, that you failed every class, and that someone who doesn't even have the basics cannot participate in the Yuhua interview. I didn't say you used underhanded tactics to ruin other people's interviews." Lily felt as if she had been splashed with cold water, her entire body trembling and unable to speak. Because she realized everything I said was true. She hadn't achieved anything for the past few years, and she wouldn't be able to get into Yuhua. She only applied for the interview to compete with me. She stared at me, clenching her teeth. "You're deliberately retaliating. You're a despicable person." I scoffed. "Am I despicable?" I pulled up a video on my phone, and the screen showed Lily sneaking my clothes out and cutting them up with scissors. Luckily, I had a feeling something would happen and had placed a small camera next to my clothes, recording the entire incident. Lily was dumbfounded. I spoke up to prevent her from blaming me. "This camera was only for precaution. It can only record the area of my desk." The scissors Lily had used were also the ones on my desk. Her face turned red with suppressed anger, and she couldn't say a word. "Either you pay me for my clothes or we'll call the police. Once the police arrive, this will not be good for the school." Lily glared at me and then finally paid me. However, I didn't let her off that easily. I reported the incident to the counselor on the grounds of damaging property, and she received a demerit. Lily was harshly scolded by the counselor and received a school-wide criticism. Now she had to be honest. Luckily, I had made 2 sets of replacements. I smoothly entered Yuhua for an internship while Lily, while busy taking classes with the next grade, was frantically applying for internships. But due to her poor academic performance, she was rejected everywhere she went. Seeing that everyone had settled down but she had no luck, she was so anxious that she skipped classes daily. In the end, not only did she not get an internship, she also failed her courses again. Because of my good performance, I was able to get hired by Yuhua after graduation. During my senior year, I rented a place to live outside of campus, and I barely saw Lily for about a year. She didn't come to the thesis defense either. I heard that she couldn't write even one word of her thesis, and because of her poor academic performance, the school was going to expel her. A year after I joined Yuhua, I suddenly received a call from Lily. Her voice was very different, filled with exhaustion. "Summerlee, are you happy with how I turned out?" From her words, I learned that she had begged the counselor for a long time to get the chance to postpone her graduation. After a lot of difficulty, She had barely managed to get enough credits. She couldn't write her thesis, so she hired someone, but her defense was full of loopholes. Under the teacher's harsh questioning, she had completely broken down and admitted to using someone to write it for her. She had been completely expelled from school and had no place in society. Her parents had been so angry that they had cut ties with her. She was at a dead end, so she had no choice but to come to me. Her voice was sharp, filled with resentment. We came to the school together. Why did you get to go to Yuhua while I was kicked out? I was clearly better than you, but you kept taking all the awards that belonged to me, and now you've taken even my job. I coldly reminded her. My position at Yuhua was something I achieved with my own ability. What about you? What did you do other than being shameless? Summer. Lily shouted angrily, then throwing caution to the wind, she said. Do you know how I'm living now? No one wants me. I have no money, and I can't even find a place to live. My mother doesn't care about me either. They all don't care about me. Lily suddenly cried, saying resentfully, It's all your fault. I treated you as my best friend, but you deliberately hurt me. You are a bitch. My calm heart suddenly felt indignation. I had also treated her as my best friend, but she only wanted to lead me astray. In my past life it was the opposite. Lily successfully got the position at Yuhua, while I had to find a job at a small factory, where I earned a meager salary and barely survived. I had to ask her for money, and she had then lectured me. She acted superior and said righteously, Summer, I've helped you for so many years already. You are ungrateful and you are now leeching off me. Don't you have any human dignity? I was so angry that I felt like spitting blood. Her so-called help was to stop me from signing up for exams, sabotage me during competitions, and report me for cheating on my final exams in the name of justice. I had studied day and night, only to have my score cancelled. The so-called cheating was a piece of paper with the key points that she had written on the desk before the exam and stuck to the bottom of the table. Later, on the day before my hard-prepared interviews, she had called every company to report that I had cheated in university, ruining my reputation. It was only a small factory that was willing to hire me, but I had to work day and night. I became sick due to overwork and had no choice but to ask her for money. She then humiliated me. In the end, I was working with my heavy sickness at the factory and died from a workplace accident due to overexhaustion. Now everything has changed. It is her who is on the streets, and her situation is even worse than mine had been. In my previous life, I had still managed to get my degree through my own efforts, but I was rejected everywhere because of the cheating incident. Now she doesn't even have a degree, so it would be even harder for her. On the phone, Lily was still cursing, venting all the emotions she had held in for so long. In the end, she cried and begged me to take her in. I really don't know what to do. I sleep in the park every night, and now they're chasing me away. Summer, please help me. I'll work as a cleaner, I really have no choice. I won't have any money for tomorrow. She cried piteously, begging me to take her in for a few days and help her find a decent job, for the sake of the years we had known each other. Hearing her miserable cries, I was unmoved. I said lightly, Lily-chan, don't you have any human dignity? How dare you ask me for help now? The voice on the other end paused. Then Lily, once again hit in a sore spot, responded with broken cries and curses. Summer, do you have to speak so harshly? I helped you for many years before. Is it so bad to ask you for help now? If you're not going to help, do you have to humiliate me? You have no conscience. How could I have been so blind to you all these years? I replied lazily. Well then, miss, you should go and beg in the streets, it's almost dark. If you go too late, you won't be able to get the hot leftover food. Then, without caring about Lily's ranting, I hung up the phone and blacklisted her. I continued to work at the job I loved, enjoying my 9-to-6 workday, and I completely forgot about Lily. The next time I heard about her, she was dead. One of my university classmates told me. It turned out that after I refused to lend her money, she had called other people for help, but no one paid her any attention. She barely survived for 2 days by scavenging recyclables. She found a job working as a bricklayer at a construction site. Construction sites usually didn't want women, and Lily was too thin and weak. In order to stay, she had to work more than others every day and endure harassment. That day, as she was carrying bricks past a construction site, Some cement suddenly fell down from a high building. People yelled for her to get out of the way, but Lily was too tired from not eating or sleeping properly. By the time she realized what was happening, the cement was already in front of her. She was struck in the back of her head, and she fell to the ground dead. Hearing this, I felt that this was probably her deserved ending. In my past life, I died in a machine accident. In this life, she also died tragically from falling debris. I quickly put this matter behind me. Now I am earning a high salary, living the life I wanted. From this moment on, no one will be able to stand in my way during every crucial stage of my life.